Hello, my name is Flo, and today I will give you some tips to hold your breath longer, and I'm going to try to guide you through the recent breath hold that I did, which is my personal best, 10.5 minutes. And in static apnea, the breathing is slightly different than all the other disciplines because we slightly overbreathe. I don't think it is dangerous to say it. I know it is very taboo. I hope I'm not going to take so much shit in the comments to say that. So I would recommend for someone who has a 4 to 5 minute breath hold already to start with a 4 to 5 second inhale and 4 to 5 second exhale. Obviously everybody is different. Some people would breathe faster, some other would breathe slower. I personally breathe much faster than 4-5 in, 4-5 out. When you start your breath hold, the first few minutes of the breath hold without any contractions, if you feel that it's long, that time passes slowly, that means that you're not really fully relaxed. Okay, I'll give you an example. Is if you look at a clock for a minute while doing nothing, sitting on a chair, you will find this minute very slow, very long. Okay, but when you watch a movie, okay, you're completely distracted by it, and then when the movie is finished, you realize you've been sitting on the chair for 2 hours. So in static apnea is very much the same principles that you need to apply. You have to get distracted. Okay, so I'm not really focusing on emptying my thoughts and trying to use as little cerebral energy as possible. I'm more thinking actively about what I've done yesterday, tomorrow, today, like anything which really excites you, I would like to say, mentally, is good for the first part of the breath hold. You have to make the time pass faster, okay? And in order to do that, you have to daydream, okay? You have to kind of think about things that you like, and some people refer to that as the happy place. Okay, that can work as well, but I just think the happy place is a very simplified way to explain people what they need to do mentally. I started in 2012. In about a year, I could do a 6 minute-ish static. But my comfort zone was more like 5:45. Okay, so I could do 5:45 any day, and then sometime I had a spike over 6:10, 6:20. At the time I was breathing normally, so that was really the limiting factor, because the urge to breathe was coming very early, and I was wasting a lot of oxygen after the contraction started. In 2013, I went from 6-ish to 7-ish with 1 more year of training, and that was mostly because I started slightly experimenting about breathing. Gently, I was starting to breathe more and more, and getting used to how to stay very calm and very relaxed with more breathing. Because the breath hold was much easier to handle, I was able to do more repetitions as well. If you do 2 or 3 warm-up and then you hold your breath 1 time for max, and then after you go home, your body is never going to adapt. You have to do a certain volume of breath hold. Another thing that I was doing to move to 6 to 7 was the CO2 tolerance training. I started switching my CO2 training with 1 breath to 3 breaths. I was holding my breath for a minute, and then I was taking 1 breath in between each breath hold. Okay, and then sometime I was switching to 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, and with 1 to 3 recover breath. And I was doing as much breath hold as I can. And by doing that over the months, my CO2 tolerance became really efficient, and it allowed me to feel much more comfortable in the contraction phase, and that made the big jump from 6 to 7. To move to 8-ish, I think it took me another 2 years, mostly because I didn't have the right knowledge to progress. I was not training the right way. I learned to train mostly my hypoxia. So to train hypoxia, basically I'm doing a lot of breath hold dry, never in the water, on empty lung, okay, or almost empty lung, empty lung, and sometimes empty lung with reverse packing, okay. And I try to get as hypoxic as possible on each breath hold, and I do this like 2 to 3 times a week. And over the months, you start getting much bigger endurance against hypoxia. From 2013 to 2016, I didn't progress that much in static. I was doing, a comfort zone of 7-ish, and then I was having some spike around 8.5. I spent the whole year in 2016 doing repeats, not on the max, just below on the comfort zone. So I didn't actually try to progress, and this is something, a very good tip I can give you all, is at some point, your body will progress faster than your nervous system. You need to stop trying to progress and doing more, and just staying there for 6 months to a year and doing as many repeats as you can to actually teach your nervous system to relax and be comfortable with this breath hold. Basically, I improve my performances by learning a lot about fasting and dieting. So what kind of supplements can help me making my contractions come later, making my lungs a little bit more flexible and a little bit more efficient with the diffusion of oxygen and all that. The hard part actually is not to find the vitamins, the right part is to find how can you absorb it well. And the last part I started doing, which I was not doing before 8.5, 9 minutes, was a lot of fitness training and a lot of stretching, a lot of cardio over 3 months, over a 3 months period. And I noticed that my heart rate was much lower during the breath hold due to that training. I also noticed that my contractions were much softer, much more gentle due to my new flexibility. I did so many times 8 to 9 minutes that my nervous system is very confident all the way up to 8.5, 9 minutes. So I actually don't question myself at all in the breath hold. I push my comfort zone very far. What is not good is to mix when you're on max period and you're really trying to spike in your performance. You're not supposed to train your muscles because they will recover and use a lot of oxygen and food to recover. For the stretching, I really enjoy 2 exercises. The exercises on full lung and on empty lung using a big gym ball, so lying down on your back over in a bridge position over the gym ball on full lung and on empty lung. And I really like also what a lot of freedivers call the bottle stretching. So I think the more flexibility you have on the intercostal, on the abdominal muscles, on the chest in general, on your upper body, is really helping with giving you more gentle contractions. Imagine a bodybuilder having contractions with very big and tight muscle. Every time the nervous system would ask those muscles to contract, it would actually move the person a lot. And now I'm going to talk about the mental aspect in the second part of the breath hold when the contractions start. I don't really focus so much on when they're early or when they're not early. It is just a reference point and you shouldn't make a big deal out of it. When the contractions start, okay, you have to really focus in controlling them. I don't really believe so much in the people who said just let them happen. I think it's very important to try to focus on your upper body, on your abdominal muscle, on your belly, okay? And you really try to, when you feel they are coming, you really try to slow them down, okay? Because every big contraction is gonna use a lot of oxygen. When the contraction starts, you need to focus on your upper body, especially your belly, and try to really have small contractions. So you can tell yourself that you don't want any big contractions. And when you feel that they're coming, you can actually control your chest, your belly, and try to have the smallest movement as possible. And that's going to conserve a lot of oxygen. Try to be distracted, but it's going to be for a limited amount of time because the discomfort is bringing you back to reality. So you just, you control 2 or 3 contractions and then you try to keep going on your daydreaming. And then at some point, you're going to go back to discomfort and then you go to a circle like this again and again. The mental power is really the same thing as CO2 tolerance. Okay, so a sign of someone who would have a poor CO2 tolerance is someone who's going to have a comfort zone very far away from his personal best. During those 3 months of training, I think I felt like three training sessions. Over the years, I learned to train my CO2 tolerance in a much more efficient way. I learned also to be very patient with performance and do a lot of repeats before moving up to make sure the nervous system doesn't freak out. Normally, your comfort zone should start going closer and closer and closer to your personal best. And when this comfort zone is quite close to your personal best, this is the right moment to have another spike and try to move up again. Okay? If you're trying to do personal best after personal best, it will just work 2 or 3 times and then you will just traumatize your nervous system, and this performance is going to be a one-time thing that you're never going to be able to do when it's the right moment to do in competitions, for example. So mental power and CO2 tolerance are very related. I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions or tips that worked really well for you, please share it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.